Today's video is going to be a little bit different as I share with you the problems I had doing this casting. Don't go away. Hello everybody and welcome to Fat Guy Productions. I am Paul, coming to you as always from beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And indeed, this is a casting that really has caused me a lot of problems. In fact, this is a casting that was supposed to be released last week. As you may know, I missed. Now, I gave you a different video, but it wasn't a diecast video, and that's because this casting, in the process of building this, I had a major failure. I couldn't present it to you that way. I had to start from zero. And even though I did that, and in the face of being sick and struggling with this casting, I did go back to ground zero, and I ended up putting this car through the stripper 3 times with this specific problem. And I thought today would be a great opportunity to do something a little bit different. Rather than focus on the build itself, I'll be showing you the build, but we're going to talk about the problems that I had. I think there's a lot of great information there, and I want to share it with you. So let's get to work. So today I'm working on a pit crew car, or by its real name, a crew car. And this is a casting I've been wanting to do for a very long time, so I was really excited to get into this until last week when all the disasters started to happen. But what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to go ahead and you'll see everything that I'm doing here, but we're really going to talk about mistakes and specifically what was going on with this casting, because I think there's more learning value in that than just talking about the same old thing week after week after week. So anyhow, this is the crew car, which is its real name, even though everybody calls it the pit crew car. And it's like I said, it's one that I've really been excited about. I don't know, it's just got kind of a futuristic feel to it. I feel like it could have really easily been part of a NASA set. I love the look of it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But again, we're here to talk about the issues I'm going to encounter. So I want to talk about mistakes in general. And, you all watch my channel for your own different reasons. The diecasters, maybe you just watch it for enjoyment. Maybe you watch it as a learning place. But whatever your reason is, you watch my channel and you see these trimmed and cleaned up packages where I present a project to you in a space of, say, 15 to 30 minutes. And at the end, you get this spectacular-looking finished product, and you're all going, wow, that really came out great. He's so good at this, blah, 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 blah. Or maybe not. Maybe you're thinking, boy, he really sucks. I don't know. But anyhow, the point is that you get to see a very short, narrow view of the project and the finished end results. And it's really misleading. And for new builders, it can be a little bit of a drag. So you watch my channel, and I tackle a car, and it comes out fantastic, and you see it, and then you try it, or you try it on a different car, and you have all sorts of issues. Maybe the paint doesn't come out right, or the decals don't settle in properly, or you blow out the post or whatever, and it can be a little bit deflating that you're seeing this and you're going, well, he can do it, why can't I? I struggle so much and he makes it look so seamless and so easy. Well, I'm here to tell you today that it really isn't always seamless, and it isn't always really, easy. We have things go wrong. We make mistakes just like you do. And we just have the benefit of being able to edit them out before we present it to you, whereas you don't have that benefit in real life. The point is, when you watch our videos, be it mine or one of your other favorite restorers or customizers, you have to take it with a grain of salt, okay? We have the power of editing. And anybody who tells you that, no, I never have a problem and they always come out perfect, well, they're probably not being exactly 100% truthful with you. We all run into problems. We all get frustrated. Mine was so bad with this casting that this video was supposed to be out last week. It wasn't. Okay? It is what it is. What it comes down to is, what do you do with that? Do you let it beat you down? Do you go, well, this is just too hard, I'm not going to do it? Or do you push through and make a success of it? Do you learn something from it? Do you get to where you want to be despite the problems that crop up? So now that I've talked about problems and mistakes and issues in general, we're going to talk specifically about this car. Now, I've had something like this happen before, and we'll talk about that a little bit more here in a second. But essentially, after I was right near the finish line, the car was painted, decaled, and the clear coat had gone on, which is right there, very close to the end of the trail for me. The clear coat started to develop a bunch of pock marks. It almost looked like Swiss cheese holes in it, and they seemed to correlate to where the decals were. Now, I don't even understand what was going on. And right now, even as I'm presenting this to you, I have no idea what happened. And so if you have any concept or thoughts on the issue, I'd love to hear in the notes below. Put down in the comments what you think is going on. Let's maybe we can all work this out together and figure out what's going on. I do have some theories that I'll present here, but I really just don't know what happened. So, yeah, okay. I put the clear coat on, and all these little pock marks started to form, and it seemed to be where the decals were. Now, the easy answer is to think it's the decals or a combination of the decals and the clear coat not wanting to work together, but I don't know how valid that is because, frankly, I have used these decals a lot, this exact materials, this exact process, with no real issues whatsoever. Now, if you remember back, I did a red Chevelle with white stripes on it, and I had the same problem. It developed these little pock marks. Doing the exact same thing I'm doing here, okay? Same decal sheet, same printing process, same clear coat process. Everything was the same, and I had the exact same issue on that casting. But I've done tons of cars using all of these same steps and not had any issues whatsoever. So is it some sort of a reaction between the decals and the clear coat? I really just don't know. So got the car stripped back down, put it back in the stripper, got it stripped down, cleaned up. I reprimed it, I repainted it, I redecaled it, and then I paused to try to kind of assess what could have happened because I really am having a hard time believing it was some sort of a reaction between this specific type of decal and the clear coat because it's so inconsistent. In fact, 90% of the time, 99% of the time, it works great. So why is it those couple times? And what I started to wonder is if it could be something to do with the setting solution I use. And I use a setting solution called Walther's. And I don't use it on every car. If the decal is just laying on a nice flat surface, I don't use it because I don't need it. But I did use it on the Chevelle, and I did use it on the pit crew car. Maybe that's where the problem lies. So I thought to myself, okay, what I need to do is I need to clean the car after the decals dry. But, you kind of have to balance that out and be very careful with it because you don't want to damage the decals because they're unprotected. So I went ahead and put the new decals on it. And this time I took a wet Q-tip and I wiped the whole car down. And this is something I've never done. I've never cleaned the car before clear coat. So I cleaned it all off with a wet Q-tip, let it dry, and then re-clear coated it. And it pockmarked again. Now, I will say, I think it was a little better, but it pockmarked again. Another thing I did is I altered a little bit how I put the paint down. I did more in terms of a mist coat and middle coats to try to really seal the car in some clear coat before putting on those final heavy wet coats that give me the gloss that I'm really looking for. But despite all of those things, it still developed those little pimples. I don't know if I would call them fish eyes. Fish eyes is something that happens in paint and clear coats and stuff. I don't think these qualify. These look like there was some sort of substance on the casting that was repelling the clear coat in these little spots. Like it just didn't want to sit there. So I had no idea, but again, back into the stripper it went. Okay, so before I continue with the story of woe, I want to tell you that the car is going to come out, okay? But I just don't know why it was doing this to me. I really have no idea. All of the things I'm thinking about are just hypothetical, and I'm really thinking about doing some sort of a test, maybe get some junker, throw a quick paint job on it, decal it half one side, half the other, and then clear coat it and see how the different halves react and stuff. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so I'm not prepared to totally throw out the idea of cleaning the car after the decals and before the clear coat, but it didn't seem to really be the answer. So I thought to myself, okay, what else can I try here? Because now I'm back in the stripper for the third time. It's breaking my heart. So I decided I'm going to adjust how I put the clear coat down. Now look, here's the truth about me. I'm kind of haphazard at this stage in that I don't strategically measure out the clear coat and the hardener and all that. I really work by feel. And, the clear coat, you don't even need to put hardener in it. You don't. So I don't feel like there's some big necessary evil of having to put a specific amount in there. But maybe I put too much. That could be a problem. And so what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to, again, clean the car, prime it, paint it, decal it. And, yeah, I'm going to wipe it back down again. But this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay on a lot of tack coats and a lot of medium coats before I go ham on this thing. And when I'm doing it, I'm also going to be using a more strategic mix of clear coat. If I'm not mistaken, thinking back on this, I was mixing the clear coat and the hardener at about 1-to-1. Maybe that's too much. Maybe it's too hot. And that's why it's doing what it's doing. So this time I drew up the same amount of clear coat I had done before, but this time I used about half as much hardener. and mix that up. Then I was very judicious in laying down many, many tack coats, trying to seal the car. Then I moved on to some medium coats to start to get some buildup. And then I finally clear coated the car, and frankly, I got a good result. Now, there is a spot where I think there is a pock mark in it. I can't really be sure. I guess I need to get something so I can look at it closer. It could be a little piece of casting mark or something like that I'm seeing. I don't know. The car looks great, okay? I'll just say that. The car is going to come out and look great. Otherwise, I would have redone it for the 4th time. But there might still be a pock mark in there. And no matter what, I still don't really know what the answer is. Now, certainly there are other ways to go about this. There are other clear coats you can use, but I'm so comfortable with the urethane clear coat I get from Bright Vision. It's just really my wheelhouse. So I didn't really want to change that up. I didn't really want to change a lot about how I apply it. But now I'm really beginning to wonder if maybe it is my mix. If maybe the mix, especially because here's the deal. I got to be honest with you. Pass number 2, pass number 3, and I was starting to be really timid about what I was doing. I felt like I was paranoid that if I did the wrong thing, I was going to ruin this again and have to start all over. And I'll be honest, this is Friday here in Vegas at 3:30 p.m., and this video is due tomorrow at 6 a.m., and I'm just voiceovering right now, and I'll finish up my edit. The video will be out in time, but I was up against the clock, and I still don't feel great. I'm not 100% yet. So I was a little intimidated at this point and worried that I was going to screw the car up again. And I just could not and would not present it to you that way. So, I was struggling, but in the end, I kind of felt my way through. I got a result that I'm happy with, and I think you'll like the car. But, I still have a lot of questions. So where exactly is that leaving us? Okay, where's the problem? Well, I don't really know. I have some thoughts, and like I said, maybe I'll do a whole video on testing some of these thoughts out. First of all, I think I need to be a little more consistent in the way I mix my clear coat. I got to be honest, I don't even really know what the mix is supposed to be. I can't help but think that I'm using too much hardener in the clear coat, and that is causing me a problem. Okay, I think that's one thing. Because in this final paint job, I used less hardener, and it worked out. I think that's part of it. Number 2 is I need to find a good, reliable way to kind of wash the car after I've put decals down and have used setting solution. I've got to find a nice, reliable way to clean the car again before I go to clear coat, because it's just something I don't do. Okay, I never really even considered doing it. It was just something that, normally, you paint it, you clear it, and you're done. But now with the problems and trying to avoid them, I do need to find some way to clean this without damaging the decals, and making sure that it's nice and ready to go for the clear coat layer. So that's going to be another thing. Next, I need to think about when I'm applying over decals, I need to think more about the base layers. When I'm putting a clear coat layer down over a regular paint job, I can stick with my tried and true methods and it's not a problem. But when I'm going over these decals, because now that I am aware that this is not just an isolated incident, I need to really be more cognizant of what I'm doing. I need to slow down, take my time a little bit, and more tack coats, more medium coats. Okay, I need to build up. I need a little more drying time in between those coats. I feel like sometimes I'm rushing the project, and I've got to stop doing that, especially on a car like this one. So, you know, you're probably right about now thinking to yourself, well, thanks a pantload, Chet. You told us all about this problem and you didn't give us any solutions. Well, I'm just being honest with you. I don't have a solution. I really don't. This is going to take some more projects and maybe see if this happens again and try and be a little more cognizant about what I'm doing and maybe something will come of it. Maybe one of you guys has an idea out there. All I know is that I have some things I want to focus on, and I'm going to try those, and I'm going to work and try and make sure that this doesn't happen again. Because I got to tell you, it's a real pain. Okay, I put a lot of work into this car. I think it looks amazing, and you know, it just took me a long time to get here, way longer than it needed to, way longer than it should have, and all the blame for that falls on me. Okay, so I don't want to beat a dead horse here. The bottom line is there is an issue that I've been having. I've presented it to you. I'm going to continue to work on it. And did I say presented it? I might have said that. If I did, feel free to mock me. Um, anyhow, I've shown you the problem that I've been having. Hopefully, I can find some answers. If I do, I'll bring that to you as well. But in the meantime, I'm just going to try to focus a little bit more and avoid these issues. And again, like I said, if you're a new diecast restorer or customizer and you're having problems, take this as a cautionary tale that, hey, it's part of the hobby. Okay, you're going to have failures and you're going to have to work through it. It's just part of what happens here, and it happens to every single one of us. Anyhow, so let's wrap this build up. So paint job number 3 is going to stick, and we have shined up the base using Flitz. We actually used 2 Flitz products on the base. We used the calcium remover, which worked amazingly, and then we went ahead and polished it with the Flitz polish. And now we're going ahead and protecting that by using our Renaissance wax, and we'll just buff that all out and make it shine like a penny. Now, on this particular casting, it has absolutely, I would say this is the biggest glass and interior piece I've ever seen on a die-cast car. It's giant. So I'm going to take some Flitz and a Q-tip, and I'm going to polish the glass, and I'm leaving it on the interior piece just to help hold it and make it easier for me to do this. But I'm going to get this as shiny as I can. It was in pretty good shape, so I didn't really need to sand it or anything like that. I'm going to polish it all up, get it shiny, and when you're dealing with a piece of glass this big, all I can tell you is this is where gauzy really makes the difference, okay? Wait until you see the glass on this thing at the end. You're going to plots. I said this glass was big. It's so big, in fact, I can't get it into the gauzy. I have to kind of slide it around and scoop up gauzy and roll it around in here. This glass is just so big. But anyhow, after I get it completely covered, I'll put it on the paper towel, let some of the excess wick away. Then we'll put it in the onion saver to dry. And man, you will not believe what this is going to look like at the end. Of course, this car is cap style wheels, so we'll pop off all the old ones, and you know already what's going to happen here. This car is going to get deep dish chrome wheels. It's going to look amazing. Okay, we're at the place I never thought I'd get with this casting. We're at the finish line. And all I got to do is put this back together without screwing it up. So we'll go ahead and pop in the little slide out tool tray, and then we'll go ahead and put this car back together. All right, I know this video took the long way around. It was a little longer than I normally do. And, it talked about some stuff that we don't normally discuss. But at the end of the day, the car is done. I think it looks amazing, and I hope you love it. Here it is, my pit crew car. Well, there it is, my pit crew car or crew car, and it came out great. It was absolutely a lot of work. There were so many problems, and I still don't have all the answers. But at the end of the day, the casting looks fantastic, and I'm so happy I went ahead and persevered. And frankly, at the end of the day, I'm also happy that I dropped it back into the stripper 3 times. It really paid off in spades. The car looks amazing. I hope you like this video, and I hope you like the casting. If you did, please give this a giant thumbs up, click subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you never miss one of my diecast videos. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I love to hear from you guys. All right, I gotta be honest. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. This video is due tomorrow, and I'm just wrapping up today. I'm getting out of here, okay? I'm gonna go take a break. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Until next time, this is Paul from Fat Guy Productions saying, be good.